Hey guys, I'm back again to talk to you about the body of this paper. And this is going to be part two. This is now the second book that I was looking at, which is The Great Gatsby. And you can see here I've kind of marked up the text with some of the things that you're going to have to do. And I think if you follow this pattern, it's like a template, what you see here. We'll start with TS, stands for topic sentence. Q is the quote. What's in here is this thing I've been saying in a lot of your essays with Swallowing Stones, which is before you give a quote, you need to introduce the scene in maybe a sentence or two. And then down here, the most important part, the part that we've been talking about all year with our narratives. Mr. Rantham has said it with your social studies essay. Ms. Zengerl has said it. It's one word, it's elaboration. How do you do that in this analytical type of paper? And so I have some ideas for you. So let's take a look. And again, we're talking about setting in place now in my second book. F. Scott Fitzgerald was writing a novel to communicate to his readers that the Roaring Twenties and the Jazz Age had a very dark side, and that life in the fast lane was sure to end with a crash, as it eventually did on Black Tuesday, 1929, plunging America into the Great Depression. His message, in other words, the author's message, is told through Jay Gatsby and through the setting in place. So my topic sentence there is that it's excess of everything in the 1920s. In the first scene, our narrator, Nick, has just moved from the Midwest to a wealthy part of Long Island, though his accommodations are basically a shack sandwiched between two mansions. In this scene, Nick is meeting with his cousin Daisy and is beginning a tour of her mansion. Here's the quote. The windows were ajar and gleaming white against the fresh grass outside that seemed to grow a little way into the house. A breeze blew through the room, blew curtains in at one end and out the other like pale flags, twisting them up toward the frosted wedding cake of the ceiling, and then rippled over the wine-colored rug, making a shadow on it, as the wind does on the sea. That quote is actually one of the most famous quotes in all of American literature because it's full of symbolism, and that's the kind of quote that you're going to want to pick, is one that is really descriptive with setting in place. And no matter what you're doing with this essay, just choose your quotes carefully. I can't say that enough. That's half your battle here. And if you haven't been taking post-it notes and stickies, well, I guess you have a lot of work to do. All right, now, how do you elaborate? Corbin, this is for you. Anyone who struggled to get to those 300 words, this is how you do it. Every one of these red underlines you see here are me, the author, referring back to the quote from the book, but specifically with word choice. Let's take a look. The word choice in this famous description is ripe of symbolism and meaning. There's an ease about this scene, about how the breeze twists these curtains. The wind is often symbolic of freedom, and it fits the description of these scenes. These characters, Tom and Daisy, are bound by no limitations because of their wealth. From outside, they, too, are gleaming and fresh. But there's reference too. But there's a hint of danger and violence in the air as well when it comes with the wine-colored rug and the shadows. Red is symbolic of violence. The progression of colors in this description goes from white to red to black, ending in the shadows, perhaps foreshadowing that darkness is just around the corner for these wealthy characters or this time period of indulgent excess. Okay, so how do you do it? How do you elaborate? It's called specific references back to the quote that you have chosen. And that's how you do it.